Hey everybody, it's Michael here from Replica Airguns. Today we're doing the tabletop review for the Umarex Colt Python 357 Magnum. This is the chrome version and it is a shell loading CO2 BB revolver. Again, this is the tabletop review. I haven't done the actual field test shooting video for this exact gun, but I have reviewed it in the past in a black version way back in 2014, so 6 years ago. So I'll put links in the description so you can check out that old field test review. I plan on making an updated version here in the C-Can. Why not? Sometimes things change, but we should get similar results, I would imagine. Now you can buy this gun in our Canada and US online Replica Airgun store over at replicaairguns.ca for Canada and replicaairguns.us for US. We have a bunch of different versions. The Umarex version does come in chrome like this and black, and we also have KWC versions because this gun is made by KWC. The KWC version just won't have the Colt Python licensing on it. So let's get into some of the specifications. It's pretty much an all-metal design gun. It's called the 6-inch, but it actually has a 5.5-inch smoothbore barrel. It uses 12-gram CO2 cartridges, shoots 4.5mm steel BBs. It houses 6 rounds in the cylinder and comes with 6 brass loadable shells. This gun weighs in at 2.7 pounds or 1,218 grams, and it shoots in both single and double action. It also has a claimed FPS of 400, and again, it's Colt licensed via Umarex. Now it is a replica, or a pretty close replica, of the Colt Python 357 revolver. A little bit longer here in the frame than an actual Colt, probably to allow for the CO2 valve that's housed inside of here. Now this gun is distributed by Umarex, but it's made by KWC in Taiwan. You may have noticed some videos last week where I was comparing KWC guns and talking about how a lot of companies rebrand KWC products. Well, here's another example of a KWC product distributed by another company, in this case Umarex. And yes, KWC does make a lot of air guns that you see out there. All right, let's take a look at the box here. Nothing too exciting. Let's see, you've got your Python 357 Magnum. Got some information there, 400 FPS, 6 rounds, swing out cylinder, full metal, adjustable rear sight. I didn't mention that, but it does have a fully adjustable rear sight. Probably should have said that. 12 gram CO2, steel BB. Okay, on the back, you're just gonna have some more specifications there. All right, smoothbore barrel, manual safety. We'll get into all that when I walk around the gun. You can see here a lot of the same information there. Does come with a speed loader. I'll show you what it comes with right now. It does come with a speed loader. I'll probably show you how that works because it's, some people don't know exactly how they work, but they're pretty cool little guys here. And if you do have more shells, which you can buy, by the way, over on the Replica Airgun store, if you want to get more shells, then you can put them in here and quickly load more into the gun using the speed loader. So there's that. You also have an Allen key because there's no Allen key built into the actual pistol grip here like some of the other guns do. And of course you have your manual. Okay, we're not going to get too much into it, but all the stuff on how to load it, how to shoot it, some safety precautions generally are going to be in here. Even shows you how to use that speed loader, how to aim properly. Lots of great information in there. Before I do the walk around, let's take a look at some other products that are kind of similar, but maybe not totally. I wanted to show the Crosman 357 because this pistol has been around for decades. Probably one of the earliest, well, I wouldn't say the earliest, but the earliest 357 designs. Originally had a different barrel, more like your standard, 38 special barrel. None of this ribbing or venting in it, none of that. This is just basically a different barrel that was added on to the 357 frame. And then they've upgraded the grips. The original one had different grips, different barrel, kind of looked more old school. But the frame on this 357 Crosman really hasn't changed on this particular gun. Oops, of course that always has to fall off. Why wouldn't it? Okay, we're back. So we have this magazine here that you load 10 rounds into. Just a cylinder that goes on that little post there. And then you can pop that in and it shoots BBs, okay? Now, some different versions of guns similar to this can sometimes shoot pellets. They'll sometimes have rifled barrels, but this one's a BB version. And this one shoots in double and single action. Has your CO2 there with just a basic, you don't have the screw there. You just have that little sort of CO2 toggle there to tighten it up. But it works just fine. Put your CO2 in there. put your grip back on, and that's how that one works. This is a plastic barrel, by the way. Some versions came with metal barrels, but that one has a plastic barrel. Let's take a look at another product. This is a Dan Wesson 715. Okay, again, a shell loading revolver, 6 rounds, right? You have your shells. They're a little bit different. They don't actually work in each other's guns because they're slightly different lengths and they're slightly different shapes. Another double single action trigger, another gun with adjustable sights, another chrome version. This one feels pretty solid. I do like the Dan Wesson 715s. Pretty cool grip on it. This one actually has the Allen key right in the grip, which is nice. So that's kind of cool. Okay, I'll put that in there like this. And again, pretty nice gun, recessed barrel, nice sights on it. Pretty cool looking gun. All right, so let's get back to the Umarex Colt Python 357 Magnum and do a quick walk around of this product here. Getting nice and tight. A lot of reflection, but hopefully you can see what's going on here. So there's your 357 markings, your ribbed barrel there. Vented, kind of. You do have a recessed barrel as well, right? You do have the cylinder that swings out and your shells that go in it. We'll take a look at the shells in a bit here. So to complete this walk around, you've got your single and double action trigger. Okay, so that is going to be how you open up the cylinder. You do have your grips that don't pop off. As you can see, they don't need to pop off because you use a screw. That's the Allen key that comes with it, right? And you remove this screw and put your CO2 in there so you don't pop the grips off. You do have a fully adjustable rear sight, up and down, and for windage. Okay, so elevation and windage. You have some more Colt licensing on this gun, on the grips, on the frame. You got some warning instructions there. Serial number, I believe, somewhere on here. I don't know if you can read this, but it says licensed trademarks Colts Manufacturing Company there. A little bit hard to see. This is the caliber right there and the serial number. Okay, let's take a look at the ammunition here. We'll pop a couple out just so you can see them. Okay, so here's your shells for shell loading, and you put the actual steel BBs in the front, not the back. And some of them you do put them in the back, but in these guys you put them in the front. And if you're gonna use the speed loader, you would load them up like this, so pop them all in there, push this up and twist. Okay, and then it locks them in. See how it's locked them in? And then as soon as you push it, it unlocks and drops them in. Okay, so that's how that works. Pretty easy to use and kind of convenient when you're going through some rounds there. If you've got a full CO2 and you want to get through some rounds on your target. I did want to talk a little bit about performance, since I have actually tested this exact gun except for in the black version, again back in 2014, and it performed pretty good. It shot about 390 FPS. I can't remember exactly what the temperature was, so it's fully capable of hitting 400 FPS for sure. I do remember the BBs were shooting kind of high and low in terms of FPS, and it might have to do with breaking in those shells because the plastic was a little bit tight, so putting the BBs in, some of them was firmer than others, and that could potentially slow down the BB slightly until the shell breaks in. We'll see if that happens when I do the field testing for this gun here in the C-Cam when I get around to it. It did shoot a really nice grouping, so 6 rounds on a paper target from 30 feet away, and they all fell within 1 inch of each other, so not bad at all. Hopefully I can replicate that with this gun here in the C-Cam when I do my field test shooting video. All right, let's get into some of the pros and the cons. This is a shell loading revolver. It really does give you that feeling of loading and shooting a real revolver. Again, it has that mostly all metal design, which gives it really great weight, almost 3 pounds of weight, nice and heavy. There's lots of detail in this product. It's made fairly well. The chrome looks nice, and I have a feeling the chrome's going to wear better than the black that you find on KWC products. The black is electrostatically coated, and it's kind of thin, so it can wear off in the high spots rather easy, whereas this chrome version I think uses a slightly different finish that will be more resilient to wear and tear. Now again, based on my previous testing from way back 6 years ago, this should have good overall power, accuracy, and lots of shots per CO2. I do like the fact that it comes with fully adjustable sights, just in case it's shooting a little high or low or a little off to the left or right. does have that well-hidden CO2 screw that's tucked up inside the pistol grip. And again, you also have that recessed barrel that gives the gun more of a real steel look with that larger barrel opening. And the trigger pull in both single and double action is decent. Of course, single action is going to be much shorter and lighter. A few cons, I didn't really mention it when I was doing the walk around, but the grips are kind of thick here. They're a little bit wide and big, and so you might not do so well if you have small hands. And the texture is a little bit rough. I noticed that back in 2014 when I did my earlier review. The grips felt a little bit rough. It's not like a rubberized grip, it's a hard plastic. And lastly, the distance in the frame between the cylinder and the trigger is a little long. If you were to compare that to a real Colt Python, it's going to have a much smaller area here, so that kind of is a bit of a giveaway. But other than that, it's a pretty good replica. All right, again, I want to remind you that we do have this product in our Canada and US replica airgun store in the Umarex version that's fully licensed. In Canada, we for sure are going to have the KWC version that's unlicensed, but to be honest, they're virtually the identical gun. So it just depends on if you want licensing or not on yours. All right, I want to thank you for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're interested in other products, then check out our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores where we sell air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.